Like I've seen so many different women that has such a glow about them, like a certain grace when they walk, certain way that they speak, just give off a certain energy that's just warm and that's just wholesome and that's just, optimistic. They have aspirations of doing great things, like going out and getting doctorate degrees or, going out and starting certain businesses and just thriving in life, and then they'll run into a guy who is beneath them, who everybody around them knows that they should not be dating. But because they love that man, they'll sacrifice themselves in the process of trying to make it work with him. So now you look up 3-4 years later, she got 2 kids by this guy and he's inconsistent, no job, just low vibration all the way around, dragging her down. And she doesn't even look recognizable as the woman that you knew before she got into that situation. That's why leadership is so important, man. You have to pick a man who's worthy of leading.
There's a hill I'm willing to die on, and here's the hill. I mean, you can't convince me otherwise. I'm open to conversation, but I just don't believe it. The prettiest women end up with the worst men. The most gorgeous women, like you'll see a woman and you'll think, oh my goodness, she's absolutely stunning. I promise you her boyfriend's a prick. He's a cheater, or he treats her like shit. Like there's I don't know what the science is. Why do the most gorgeous women end up with the worst men in society? I don't understand. He always leaves her with low confidence, low self-esteem, low worth. Like, what is the science behind this? I don't understand. There's a saying in Turkish, right? And it's çirkin şansı, which means like, and the luck of the ugly. And people will always say like, oh, I hope you have the luck of the ugly to their children, to their daughters especially, because not that any woman is ugly, but those that are not as conventionally pretty end up being treated better than those that are absolutely stunning.
Have you ever asked God, why me? You are too kind, loyal, and you give 100%, and you keep getting men who lie, cheat, or use you. Today, we are going to be looking at the reasons why good women end up with bad men. You can be part of this conversation by dropping a comment. Without wasting a lot of time, let us go.
You want to know the number one question I get asked all the time is, why don't toxic men leave good girls alone? Like, if you know you don't want nothing serious, if you know you ain't chasing commitment, if you know you just playing games, why don't you just leave a good girl alone? And the thing that a lot of good girls don't understand is that man ain't dating you for you. He's dating you for him. He's not trying to be a good man to you. He's trying to prove that he is the man to himself. So finding a woman that's a challenge, right? A woman that ain't spreading herself around. A woman that don't normally do this. If he can get you to do that thing you normally don't do, now that's an ego boost. He ain't dating you for you. I get it. You like, well, go talk to that easy girl over there. Well, if it's easy, then am I really the man? So I need to find a woman that got her head held high, that got a crown on. And I need to make her feel like a peasant, because when she is chasing me and she becomes one of my options, then I'm that man. A lot of y'all think men are chasing you sometimes to try to catch you. No, the only thing they trying to catch is an ego boost, a self-esteem boost. Validation in their empty manhood because they ain't find it within themselves. That's why men womanize. And it ain't womanizing if that woman was easy. So I get it. Why don't he just talk to that toxic woman? What ego boost that gonna do for me? I see you moving on to a man that actually deserves you. You know what's gonna boost my ego? It's pulling you back temporarily and messing that up and keeping you single. I want to prove that I still got mind control over you. That's why I play these breadcrumbing games. That's why I gaslight, because I want to prove to myself that I got it. There are men in this world that will only use you as a vehicle for the empty sense of validation they ain't found within their masculinity. And y'all keep thinking all these men are interested in getting to know you. No. Some of them are only interested in using you so they can get to know that version of themselves they can't find in a healthy way. Don't fall for it.
This is why good girls attract bad guys. Of course, a man will always love it when you want to show him your nurturing side, when you tell him that you miss him and that you love him and that you want to take care of him. But the kind of woman who's always prioritizing the well-being of her man and she's always thinking of ways to please him, that's not the kind of woman who gets her man's respect. Because a man only respects the kind of woman who makes him work for it to earn her love. So when you are too nice and too sweet and too accommodating to a man, and you always show him that you're there for him, then the kind of man that you will attract is the lazy one, the one that doesn't want to do anything for the relationship. The kind of man who is fine with you doing all the work because he has no intention to do anything himself. He won't just ask you what you can bring to the table, he will expect you that you build the table. If you want to attract a good man, you must understand that you must always give to a man as much as he gives to you. Because if you give of yourself so easily without any boundaries or limitations, then a man won't just only not respect you, he will also not see your value. Because a man only values what he himself has to invest in.
All right, so I hear a lot of people wanting to know why good girls choose terrible men. And I'm going to give you the quick rundown of it, okay? It's because we have severe abandonment issues, okay? If we're in the dating pool and I see a man and he has all these red flags, I mean so many that I'm having to dodge them like fucking bullets, I'm going to be attracted to that man instantly because, one, I know you're more broken than me, and two, I don't really have to worry too much about abandonment because you're a piece of shit. I can replace you in an instant. I can go outside right now and find a fucking piece of shit. I don't have to worry. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm gonna cry because I have a severe abandonment issues if you leave me, even if you are a piece of shit. But I'll get over it pretty quickly because you're a piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? You come a dime a dozen. Now, if I meet somebody who doesn't have any red flags and they're doing all the right things and they are very healthy, wise mentally, that's scary to me because it might be perfect. And then if you abandon me and you were perfect, what the fuck? You're like a unicorn. You think I'm just gonna give up a fucking unicorn? Hell fucking no, I'm not. Like, I'm dead serious. Like, if you are a unicorn, it's gonna be so much harder for me to be abandoned by you. Which inevitably I am going to force to happen anyway because I have abandonment issues, and if you are healthy, like mentally healthy and you're perfect, probably means that you got your shit together, and I'm the one with the problems now. And so I'm gonna end up, because of my abandonment issues, probably gonna force you away from me to begin with. And then I'm gonna be sitting at home beating the hell out of myself because I lost my goddamn unicorn, my diamond in the motherfucking rough. Like, and it ain't gonna go down like that. Then I'm gonna go crazier. Like, there's no telling what I'll do. And so that is why I stick with terrible men. Until I heal myself completely from my abandonment issues, I'm going to stick with these terrible ass men because they ain't going to hurt me when they abandon me, not the way a unicorn will.
The worse a man treats you, the easier it will be for you to stay with him. Because if the bar is in hell and you know how bad he can be and how horrible you can feel, any improvement in behavior is going to feel like a miracle. It will give you so much hope because you know how bad it can be. And if someone who can be that horrible can be this nice and this apologetic and this dedicated to change, it practically feels cruel to leave a person like that. And it gets really messy because your standard of who you will stay with doesn't become them weighed against your standard. It becomes them weighed against how they were. And the worse than that is, the lower that standard gets pulled. And the easier it is for them to impress you with how far they've come because of how low they've gone. And women stay in horrible relationships for way too long because they are letting the men that they are with choose the baseline of that standard instead of them choosing the standard that is acceptable to them.
I see this pattern a lot as a counselor with some of my female clients who are just like incredible. They are smart, they are funny, they're beautiful, they have great friendships, and they date the worst men. I know you have friends like that, and if you don't, it's because you're that and you know that and you're like, yikes, that's me. I have a bad pick, or what is it? And here's like one of my theories of what happened. Sure, this theory isn't true for everyone, but it's true for a lot of people, is that you are like so in control in every area of your life. Like, you're good at school or work or for whatever it is you're in, you're good with friends, like you thrive off like control and safety, and you've made this amazing life for yourself. And so you almost date bad men as a way to like control your relationship outcomes. Like if a man is like inferior to you, like if he's a little less attractive, less successful, like mean even, right? Like legitimately like not a good person, then it almost helps you feel safer in the relationship because you know you're always going to have the upper hand. Like morally, you're always going to have the upper hand because they're mean and maybe they like do lots of bad stuff in their everyday life. And so it's like morally I have the upper hand here. Like you can never criticize me because I know that I'm a better person than you. And it's almost like you're not going to leave me because I'm in a better financial place with you. I'm better at than with other people than you. Like it is just kind of this feeling of safety because it's like you suck, like you live in your mom's basement and you don't treat her well and you don't have a job, so like you're never gonna leave me. And I'll point this out to clients sometimes and they're like, oh no, holy cow, that's exactly what it is. And the idea of dating someone who is actually on their level is really terrifying because it's then it's like you could leave me. Like you're smart, you're successful in whatever career it is you want to do, you have ambitions, you're nice, people like you. Like, oh no, why are you with me, right? And it starts getting at that deep insecurity within us. And so it's just an interesting pattern that I've noticed a lot. And again, I'm sure some of you are thinking of either other people in your life right now that it's like, that's why that friend dates terrible people. Or maybe you're looking at yourself and you're like, oh no, this is why I have this habit here. Yeah, it's just an interesting habit I notice a lot. And so if you do have that habit, might I recommend a therapy?
There is one thing that we always tend to ignore or to forget. We always, ladies, tend to forget that men are manipulators. These men, they can do anything in order to see that they get whatever they feel like they want to get out of you. These men can fake a situation. For example, if they've wronged you or they've done something bad to you, they might end up crying. They'll do whatever they feel like they have to do in order to make you feel like in order to soften your heart. They can cry, they can do whatever they feel like. They can do everything to manipulate you, to soften you, such that you forgive them or you feel pity upon them and take them back. That is the main tool that men use against us. So, ladies, we have to stop being pitiful. We have to stop being sympathetic to these men. These men, they always know whatever they are doing and they always do it knowingly.
I saw my mom spend years being the perfect wife to my father. And that man took her kindness for weakness. That man took her for granted for years. And when she had enough, when she put her foot down and she decided to get separated from him, that's when he wanted to act right. That's when he started to beg and plead and make all sorts of promises. And mind you, that tactic worked before my mom, because my father was a notorious cheater. So there were times when he tried to make her believe that he was going to change, but he never did. And my mom wasted some of the best years of her life being the long-suffering wife, because that's what the church and society conditioned her to be. She stood by my father despite his wandering eyes and disrespectful behavior. And what was so insidious was my father tried to gaslight my mother into believing that she was the person that needed to improve. She needed to be more tolerant, more forgiving, more patient, more understanding. My father made my mom believe that she was the problem. He never took accountability for his behavior and he showed no remorse. So when my mom decided to get separated, he tried to act like he would change, but that was a facade because he didn't mean it. Because deep down, my father knew he was never going to change. As a matter of fact, he didn't believe he was doing anything wrong. You see, back in those days, it was quite common for men to have second families. It was quite common for them to be womanizers. As a matter of fact, it wasn't just common, it was encouraged. There was a culture of rewarding men for having multiple women. They were crowned as gallus. They were made to feel like they were the dons in society. Having multiple women and multiple children was a flex. So when my mom decided to choose peace, that was rare. because most women were actually ridiculed, scorned, and ostracized for breaking up their families. You see, those men were never held accountable. Instead, the women were the ones who were made to feel like if they failed. And unfortunately, in today's society, you still see that type of mentality circulating in some communities. Some women are trapped in marriages because they're trying to keep up appearances, because they're afraid of ruffling feathers in the church, in their family, and in their community. And as a result, these women have given the best years of their lives to men who never deserved it.
Man, I just saw a video of a black woman crying in the car talking about men don't realize that they traumatizing a lot of women, and, you know, they using women out here. And, you know, the caption on it basically say, y'all are traumatizing the women that you'll one day desire love from. Ma'am, men know exactly what they doing. Men know exactly that they running through y'all. Men know exactly that they manipulating y'all. The truth of the matter is men don't care. I don't know how many times I gotta say this. Men don't care. It's not that they don't know. They don't care. Most men only see y'all as one thing, and that is box. I'm just keeping it a being. Most men only see y'all as box. They don't see you as a human being. They see you as something to do, and that's it. I don't know why y'all keep, because I'm not trying to be mean, because like she crying and stuff on the video, right? And I have empathy and sympathy for her, but at the same time, I've been trying to call this stuff out for a long time, and when I see videos like this, it just saddens me, because we in 2026. And you got some women out here really thinking that men don't know still. No, men know what they're doing. The truth of the matter is, men don't want to grow. Men don't want to evolve. Men don't want to be empathetic or sympathetic. Men don't care about your feelings. And as this is coming out of a man's mouth, I'm just telling you what it is. They're not going to get better. I have constant lives and constant videos calling this stuff out. And it's a few other men who call this stuff out. Stop holding on to hopium. There is no hope. I'm just going to keep it a bean. If you can find you a unicorn, a decent guy who's going to love and treat you right, then act on that. Cool. Otherwise, bro, the best thing a lot of you women can do is stay single. Because they're not going to change. They don't care to. You can't force them to. You can't love them into caring. Seriously. They have to want to. They have to choose it themselves. It's not on you. So, you know, I feel sorry for her because she crying and stuff in the video, but at the same time, I'm just going to keep it real with y'all every single time. These men not going to get better. Hey, listen, bro. The way you need to treat these men is like you know, but basically, you know, abandon all hope, ye who enter here. Enter relationships at your own risk. Because it's going to be a risk for you. Because a lot of them are saying the right things, doing the right things, just to get what they want out of you, and then they gonna dip. And you probably gonna be left with a baby, and then you gonna have more trauma. Men don't care about your trauma. I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's just the truth. Y'all have a good one.